On my drive home from Fatima, my cab driver told me a story, and I've been thinking about it ever since. Whatever you believe about Marian apparitions, I really think his story is at the heart of the questions we're asking about moments like Fatima. I'm not gonna spoil it yet, but stay with me because it's worth it. So a quick backstory on how I ended up here. I had this trip planned to Portugal for a while, and even though I'm a Protestant, I knew you didn't just go to Portugal without visiting Fatima. And I was beyond excited to see it because during my days of really doing some deep research into Catholicism, the Marian apparition of Fatima always came up. But to be honest, I was a skeptic. I still kind of am by nature. I never quite knew what to make of the stories from this event. So this was my chance to finally research Fatima in the flesh, boots on the ground. So let's go to Fatima. Before I show you what it looks like on the ground, let me give you a quick summary of the events of Fatima. Because if you didn't grow up Catholic, you might not know the full story, and it's a wild one. It's 1917. We're deep into World War I. Portugal is in the middle of a political upheaval, and 3 shepherd children, Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta, are out in the fields near a small village right outside of Fatima. And they start reporting that a woman appears to them, a woman clothed in white, who eventually identifies herself as Our Lady of the Rosary. She asks them to pray the rosary and gives them a few prophecies. There are messages about war, Russia, and a Catholic bishop being shot. And here's the most interesting part to me. On October 13th, 1917, the woman tells the children there will be a public sign. The news spreads, and somewhere between 30,000 and 70,000 people show up to watch. Journalists, scientists, skeptics, believers, people who came specifically to debunk it. And then it happens. The miracle of the sun. Witnesses say the sun started to spin, change colors, and even plunge towards the earth. People reported seeing it from miles away. The witnesses include skeptical reporters who showed up to write a story about religious fanatics, and they walked away completely shaken, turned into believers. Okay, that's the backstory. Let's see Fatima together. When I first pulled up, my reaction was, this is way bigger than I expected. Like, I knew it was a major pilgrimage site, but seeing it in person was different. There's this big open plaza that is just massive. And there are 2 major basilicas. There's the older one, the Basilica of Our Lady of the Rosary. It was built in the 1950s with a big colonnade. Very classic, very grand, loved it. Loved seeing it, loved everything about it. And then there's a modern one on the other side of the plaza, the Basilica of the Holy Trinity, built in 2007. Anyways, as I was standing there scanning the plaza, I noticed this smaller building off to my left. It's called the Chapel of Apparitions, and it's built right on the spot where the children said Mary appeared to them. Because of the grandeur of the rest of the property, I almost missed it. But the people who were in the know definitely didn't want to miss out on this spot. It was the fullest building out of the 3. I walked the grounds, took it all in, and I have some thoughts. I'm gonna be honest with you about this first thought, and I know it might offend some of you. I mean this with the utmost respect for the people who come to this place and the Catholic Church. Part of me did feel uncomfortable with how grand it all was. And you might say that's like the evangelical buried deep within me, but I don't know, I really don't think so. I've seen my fair share of huge basilicas, grand cathedrals. I love visiting churches that draw my eyes to the heavens, make me stand there with my mouth open like a kid watching Coco Melon. So if it doesn't bother me in some places, why did it bother me here? I don't know, I think maybe it's the background of the story. I just kept thinking about 3 little children who said they saw a woman in a field. These apparitions happened in the most simple setting possible, just a field with some kids and some trees. Now it's this massive complex. Part of me kind of wishes I could have seen what that field was like. Feel the grass under my feet. Maybe that would make it all more believable. Maybe then it'd be a lot harder to be a skeptic about all of this. Because on one hand, yes, this place matters to hundreds of millions of people. Of course, you need infrastructure. You gotta have a place to put them all. Practically, I totally get it. And of course, I do think the 1950s Basilica is beautiful. It's a gorgeous work of art. But on the other hand, Mary was asking these shepherd children to do something simple, to pray in faith on behalf of the world. I found myself just wondering, is the grandeur of all of this taking away from that simple call to action? I don't know. That's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, especially if you've been to Fatima. What do you think about all of it? And while you're at it, subscribe to join me on more of these journeys. Anyway, back to Fatima. While I was marveling at the architecture and wrestling with existential questions of beauty and truth, I noticed something. There's this long marble path that went from one end of the plaza to the apparition chapel. And I realized there were some people who were walking it on their knees in prayer. And the candles, there's this long trough where people light them. And some of these candles are enormous. The smoke was just hanging in the air over the whole place. And there were countless circles of people praying all over in the plaza, the basilica, the chapel. People from different nations, tribes, and tongues, all praying to Christ. This place had gathered all of them in service to one God. And whatever I think about the grand buildings or the theological status of this Marian apparition, the faith that I saw in these people was real. It was almost tangible. That's something that's a lot harder to ignore. But that didn't remove this giant question just weighing on my mind. Is Fatima legit? I mean, the miracle of the sun is genuinely hard to dismiss. You have tens of thousands of witnesses across pretty wide geographic area. And not all of them were believers. A lot of them were skeptics, journalists, scientists that were coming to debunk the miracle claim. And the prophecies that the Virgin Mary told these children all came to pass later. She told them that the current world war would end, but another one would ensue if the world didn't turn from its wickedness. She said that the nation of Russia would gain power and it would cause wars and the persecution of Christians. She said that Francisco and Jacinta would both die young, which is exactly what happened. And she also said a bishop in white would be killed, which many think was a prophecy of the assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II. There's a lot there. I'm not going to pretend there isn't. But skeptics might say the miracle of the sun was just mass hysteria. And that's a real phenomenon that has affected groups of people before. These prophecies the children received from Mary, they were mostly revealed to the public after the events had taken place. So critics say it could have all just been made up after the fact. But it's also worth noting the Catholic Church isn't dogmatically telling people you have to believe in the apparition of Fatima. The Catholic Church has this little category called private revelation. Even when the Catholic Church approves an apparition, which it did for Fatima in the 30s, it doesn't mean Catholics are required to believe it happened. It's not dogma, it's just part of the deposit of faith. And as a Catholic, you're allowed to reject it if you want to. All the church is essentially saying is, we've investigated this and we can't find anything contrary to the Catholic faith. And so we believe Catholics can freely believe in this if they want, but it doesn't have to bind your conscience. But what about this Protestant? After seeing Fatima up close and personal, what do I believe? I mentioned that on my way to Fatima, my driver shared this personal testimony with me, and I'm finally going to share it with you now. He was raised Catholic, but walked away from the church because of scandals. Priests not behaving the way they should, people in the church living lukewarm lives. These things had caused him to lose faith in the institution, but he never lost his faith in God. Being born and raised in Portugal, of course he knew about Fatima and the different miracles that have been associated with it. And he kind of brushed all that off. That is until his father got sick. By the time he was diagnosed, the doctor said he only had 3 months to live. And so my driver at this point in his life got desperate. He went to Fatima, walked on that trail on his knees, praying to God for the healing of his father. When he got home that day, the doctors called and let him know his father was in remission, and he lived 5 more years after that. My driver said to me, because of that moment, he doesn't know how anybody couldn't believe in God. If they'd experienced what he experienced, he thinks they'd be a believer too. And to be honest with you, I don't know what to say to that. Right? What would you say to that? These are the stories that always destroy that skeptical side of me, because I've heard a lot of them. I've met people from all kinds of traditions, Catholics, Orthodox Christians, Pentecostals, people who had an encounter with God in a way they can't fully explain. Often these moments have changed the trajectory of their lives. And these people aren't naive or gullible. A lot of them are very intelligent people. And yet they experienced God in a way that defied their logic. And they had to take a step of faith because of it. Is that what Fatima is? Did God really send the Virgin Mary there for this purpose? I don't know, I'm not God. But what I do know is people have encountered God here in powerful ways. They've experienced miracles, healings, answers to prayer. That fruit seems genuine, and it seems like it'd be foolish to ignore it. Maybe what matters more is that, whether it's real or not, God is using it to change lives. Meaning he can use whatever circumstance is going on in your life to do some amazing things. Those are my closing thoughts about Fatima. If you found this video interesting, I made another one where I explore the life of St. Anthony of Padua. I trace his footsteps, starting with the very place he was born in. So if that sounds interesting to you, check out this video. And finally, last call to action is just pray for me. Pray as I'm doing these things, as I'm making these videos. Pray that I can remain humble and follow the Lord's leading on this stuff. I'm Joey. This is Christianity United.